episode 17. We're coming to you on this fine February 9th of February the 6th, a Wednesday.
I was about to correct you, and then I realized I'm in England.
Yeah, time difference is a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Timey-wimey stuff.
Darn it, Draco!
My Hoovian speaks louder than you.
Your face is a Hoovian.
Well, we got the ball of sunshine viral there. I'm Draco.
I'm D-Pad.
I'm Crescendo.
I have a cat somewhere. Oh well.
So, let's get started.
Over the past week and a half, Perfect World Entertainment thought it'd be a great idea to make a Neverwinter Night MMO. And for $200, you could play as Driss.
And actually participate in the beta.
Now, for those who aren't too familiar with the Dungeons & Dragons lore, who exactly is Driss?
He's a dark elf guy who comes out of nowhere. He's got two swords, I forget the name of them, but they're two different colors, or they have two different names. Think of him like the Dante of the Dark Elves.
So, he's literally so cliche it hurts.
I think he
Basically.
started the cliche.
Yeah, Gary Gygax technically started this.
And Gary Gygax, rest in peace.
No, it's Mickey Roland Beast.
Oh, you are too
there you
I
go.
see what you did there.
Hey, I made my fortune say. He didn't.
Draco, that joke made him roll over in his grave.
I guess all you can do is hope that joke rolls a 20 with our audience.
Yeah, because I don't think your stats are going to boost it at all.
What are you talking about? I put all my points in charisma.
Dump stat.
What'd you roll, like a 2?
Pretty much.
In case you've been under a rock for the past week, Dead Space 3 was released.
Yep, I got my copy right here.
Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter should know that a couple of days ago I had a fun little rant about Dead Space 3. Namely that it comes out with 11 Day 1 DLCs. And this includes microtransactions as well, for a single-player game that can be beaten in less than a day. I find this highly ridiculous, and honestly, in my opinion, it's just a last attempt at a money grab from EA.
Yeah,
Well-
they kind of threw, Visceral under the bus a little bit. Hey, we need a game, we need it quick, and we need to make a lot of money off it.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody already found a glitch where you don't have to do that. You can get resources very easily.
Hooray! Stick it to the man.
Let me guess. PC version?
Yep.
Chances of it being fixed before 2014? 0.
Here's the problem. It's the PC version, Barl, but the PC version is the same as the 360 version, so, yeah.
Yeah, it was a straight port.
I give it about a week before somebody actually gets a mod to fix all the problems with the PC version.
And the console versions cry and complain and whine, but you know what? You should have got a computer.
Oh
That's what
god.
you get for getting the cheap alternative.
Let's not start the console war thing, please.
It's the only thing I have, Crescendo. Let me have it.
I'll get the fire extinguisher.
I think we'll need more than that.
I don't really care what your stance on the console war is. The PC deserves its own version.
It does, not a straight port.
I do agree that it just seems silly. It just seems silly to me to port a game when it could do so much better if it was just created specifically for the PC and then a separate version for the consoles.
A game that did that in recent history. CD Projekt Red with The Witcher 2. They built that 360 version from the ground up after the PC version had been out for almost a year, I think.
Yeah, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 did something similar. Completely reamped it for the PC version a couple months later and actually did a good job for once.
The worst part is the stance from Visceral themselves saying, too bad, so sad to the PC gamers, essentially.
Basically. So now we gotta devote our, we just gotta wait on some handy devs in the gamer scene to actually come out with some fan-made content that would probably patch it up, maybe fix it up a bit.
Yeah, you saw this real nicely with, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. The official patches were few and far between, and they didn't actually fix anything. You had to go with the gamers who actually recoded the game to run better.
The unofficial patch, as it were. Makes the game run beautifully.
Oh yeah, the unofficial patches were amazing. The problem is that you had to literally rely on other people rather than the developers, and it's stupid.
Hey, to be fair, that's how the Linux operating system runs. There's a problem with the code, you put that out on the internet, within like 4 hours that problem is fixed.
I do find that a lot of unofficial patches tend to be amazing. I mean, one only has to take a look at, say, the Morrowind or Oblivion unofficial patches, and they are amazing.
Bethesda game.
Well, yes, because every Bethesda game is shipped with 1,000,001 bugs, and every time they try and fix said bugs, they introduce 1,000,000 more.
Mm-hmm.
And the only version that gets fixed quickly? The PC version.
But while we're still on the topic of unofficial patches and mods, there's a new mod for Torchlight 2 that adds a new class, new regions, and a lot more.
Wait, is this a patch or an expansion pack?
It may as well be an expansion pack, but it's actually a fan-made mod.
And so far it has added 108 elite monsters, 6 rare dragons, 28 raid dungeons, 11 unique world bosses, 4 sets of legendary armor, 16 new tier 1 legendary weapons, brand new quest lines, a new world hub for Act 5, and a whole new class, the Necromancer. Now, this sounds amazing, but wait till you hear what's in store. Future plans include 24 planned classes, 3 more raid dungeon chains, 2 quest hubs, 2 more acts of overworld play, 3 more legendary armor sets, a second tier of legendary weapons, as well as fleshing out tier 1 weapons with even more options.
Hi, Billy Mays here with an amazing new product.
Why isn't this guy working for them?
Exactly. This mod is incredibly ambitious, and I cannot wait to see more of it.
Yeah, I just hope my computer doesn't die in the process of trying to play it.
It's probably not just one modder, it's probably an entire modder group.
Yep.
Kind of like how Minecraft operates with the mod groups?
No, it's kind of... No. It's probably more along the lines of the old Diablo 2 mod groups.
Ooh, those were intense.
Well, we have to give credit where credit's due. On ModDB, they are under the member section as Salan. S-A-L-A-N.
Alright, so THQ was forced to dissolve because, making money hand over fist is, a reason to dissolve.
Yeah, that and trying to basically scam everybody back to thinking they're bankrupt is another way to get dissolved.
Oops.
So now
hey guys, we got picked up by this company, nobody ever heard of it, they don't want us to change anything, they gave us all our money back, the exact amount we lost. Not sketchy at all.
So now their assets have been sold off to all the many different places, and here's a quick rundown. Company of Heroes and Warhammer 40k developer Relic Entertainment is going to Sega.
Oh god, please don't let them screw it up.
Saints Row developer Volition Inc. and the Metro series are going to Deep Silver, the makers of Dead Island. The Homefront franchise is going to Crytek,
Might be able to do something with that.
Which gives me hope. THQ Montreal and the South Park license are going to Ubisoft.
Hooray, Uplay content.
Evolve, a game in development by Turtle Rock Studios, who worked on Left 4 Dead, are going to Take-Two Interactive.
Take-Two's a good company.
The saddest news of all, THQ will make every effort to find appropriate buyers for its remaining assets, such as Darksiders developer Vigil Games.
Actually, amendment to that, Crytek actually found a home for the ex-Vigil staff.
Which I was going to bring up, but sadly they have stated they don't intend to continue the Darksiders IP.
Yeah, sad.
So it's no real reason to get excited.
Well, no. They could make another Zelda clone.
Okay, first of all, I'm not excited about the whole Relic Entertainment going to Sega, because let's face it, what has Sega ever done when it comes to making games? Let's see, Sonic, PSO, that's it. Oh wait, Space Channel 5. That's yeah, and Jet Set Radio maybe.
Yeah. The Conduit was okay, as far as Wii games go, but then again...
It's... Okay, Sega's made a lot of good games, like Knights and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's just... When it comes to making licensed games, or revamping licensed games, you only have to look as far as Doom to see how bad they did.
Sonic 06.
Oh no, that's the game we don't talk about.
Exactly.
It's like He Who Must Not Be Named from the Harry Potter series.
What, Lord Ponymort? But no, in terms of Sega, let's not forget the little fiasco involving all the Shining Force shutdowns.
Yeah. Well, then again, let's look at it this way. Space Marine that THQ made wasn't exactly stellar. I mean, it was a fun hack and slash, but it wasn't anything particularly new.
It was a fun shooter, too. I mean, it's just... It could have done better.
It could have, although I really hope that, you know, we can see a Dawn of War 3 that's not going to be god-awful. Because Dawn of War 1 and Dawn of War 2 and this expansion packs with it are very solid, fun games. And also, Company of Heroes is really fun.
They are, but the games for Windows Live kind of killed it for me.
Yeah, no, games for Windows Live is kind of Microsoft going, hey, we still kind of own the PC market a little bit. Buy an Xbox.
Speaking of sad and depressing, Star Trek Online has its 3rd year anniversary and beams up a special guest, Denise Crosby.
I suppose it's my turn to talk. Yes, 3 years later, that game is still going. How? Nobody knows. But if anyone watched the first season of Star Trek The Next Generation, they will know that person as the actress who played Tasha Yar.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and rip into him a little bit here. Dan Stoll says that there's over 2 million captains still playing, basically 2 million players still playing this game. I highly doubt that if they went free to play.
Usually, the only time it gets really, really busy anywhere near those numbers is around the anniversaries or major. It's like World of Warcraft. Whenever a new patch launches or an expansion launches, you get massive influx of people to where, for this anniversary, they actually had to activate a server queue. For the first time in the game's history.
Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but that's kind of like World of Warcraft saying, oh, we have 16 people playing. You have 16 million active accounts. It doesn't mean people play.
Aren't half of those like Chinese bots?
Yup.
And it also takes into account inactive accounts. And by that I mean people who have accounts but haven't played in X amount of time.
Huh, so it's funny. Blizzard still thinks I play that game.
Now, there is one thing that Star Trek Online does have for most MMOs. Player-driven content through the I believe it's called the Foundry. It's similar to the Forge in Halo, except you can create your own missions. So it's actually kind of fun.
So it sounds exactly like 15 other games out there, like City of Heroes for one.
Oh man,
which is
City of
recently
Heroes
shut
is
down.
Hey,
awesome.
Draco? Yeah. Star Trek Online's still going. Ha!
City of Heroes shut down because their studio shut down.
So what you're saying is people can make quests that make you go out and kill 10 Borgs?
Return to me the tusks of 13 Borgs. Don't you mean boars? No.
No, it's usually a case of go shoot 10 Hortos while making them eat Klingon poop.
Okay, now this would be more exciting if it was just space combat, but since it's space and ground combat, and the ground combat's so lackluster I could sneak throughout the entire thing and still win. Yeah. I mean, if you're into this kind of thing, go download it. I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but yeah, don't ever set foot onto a planet.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as like space and planetary combat goes, I think EVE Online and Dust 514 are going to take the lead in that regard. Even though EVE Online is Microsoft XL, the MMO.
Alright guys, some movie news.
Yeah, we've got an interesting blend of the industries here where games once again make the foray into movies. Now, we all know how this can end. I don't really need to remind you all of movies such as the Super Mario Bros. Movie and Wizard.
I thought we weren't talking about that anymore.
But there is hope, because the World of Warcraft movie looks like it could be decent. Duncan Jones is taking on Legendary Pictures' adaptation of the popular video game universe. Plus, we have word from J.J. Abrams and Gabe Newell in talks for Half-Life or Portal films.
I'd really like to see a Portal film. There's enough backstory and enough stuff going on, and actually the combination universe of Half-Life and Portal, because they take place kind of simultaneously, that you could make something really interesting out of it.
You just want to hear GLaDOS in a movie, since, you know, was it Pacific Rim took her out.
Did they?
Pacific Rim, they announced that it was that version of the AI audio was specifically designed for the trailer.
Oh my god. That's irritating.
I'm still gonna see it.
Giant robots, kind of hard to say no.
There is a beautiful area that I would love to see in a movie based on their universes, and that's the area between Portal 1 and 2, which Portal 1 takes place during the 7-hour war in which the Combine take over Earth. I want to see that, or a little bit after that.
Yeah. Although, typecasting for Gordon Freeman would be tricky. They ain't nothing.
Same with Shell.
Well, they just have to get actors who are very emotional through their faces, then.
But you never see their
It's entirely
faces.
possible. Well, in a movie, you'd obviously see the face. When was the last time you saw a movie from a first-person perspective?
The butterfly and the diving bell?
And Doom, there was a segment where they had the first-person shooter near the end, which was
That was
actually kinda
hilarious. I actually flipped my wig. I was what was it? It was like I was in a movie theater. I was actually walking out, and then I heard the music, and I turned around, and they went in first person. I was like, "Oh no, they didn't." I sat back down. So I sat there and I watched it until like the scene actually switched into the third person perspective. I was like, "Yeah, I'm out."
That was the one redeeming factor of that movie.
I was gonna say, I don't remember the Doom movie getting very high regards.
Oh no, it didn't. The only reason why it did any sort of good is because The Rock was in it.
Mm-hmm.
He was also the Tooth Fairy, I don't know.
That guy will do anything if you pay him enough money. He would probably play Rainbow Dash on one of those horrible live-action MLP things.
I got a better question. You gonna go up there and make fun of him?
Oh god, no. With sleeves like that guy has, and the fact that he could probably bench, I don't know, me, I don't think I'd say
Actually,
anything to
no,
him.
he'd be Big Macintosh.
Alright, guys. Let's see here. We got Skullgirls. We got Skullgirl news. Yeah! New Skullgirls.
Yeah.
We got a new character in Skullgirls named Squiggly. Looks a little weird.
I don't know, Skullgirls characters have always had a very unique style to them.
What, isn't something out of an Eldritch Abomination's brain cell?
Well, one of them looks like something straight out of Lovecraft.
Well, this one is more like a zombie with a parasite. It's kind of weird. Now, Skullgirls is a hard game, like really, really hard. Like, I
Yeah.
haven't yet to beat the first round hard.
Now, on a level from 1 to 5 broken controllers, where would you rank it in difficulty?
27.
Yeah, it's a fighting game where it's like, oh, you don't know what you're doing? Oh, have fun as the computer mercilessly beats you into submission.
Oh, by the way, guess what? There's no in-game move list. You gotta
Nope.
look it up online, PDF file.
You gotta figure it out on your own, or look it up.
Dear God, is this Myst again?
Maybe.
Bad enough I played that game enough times, I actually have everything memorized.
I worry for you sometimes.
I'm
We
not
all
touching
worry
ribbon.
for viral. Don't worry. Well, we all worry. Don't worry.
Alright.
Be happy.
Alright, DC has released a series of comics leading up to the Injustice release. Injustice Gods Among Us is a fighting video game based on the war between the superheroes.
Yeah, basically it's I mean, from what I can gather from looking at the comic books, it basically looks like Marvel Civil War, but in the DC universe. And I actually played the game at Comic-Con. It was pretty fun. Although it did feel very much like Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, with all the Mortal Kombat characters taken out. But, I mean, it definitely has room to throw in more comic book favorites. Like, I mean, I can see, on the cover there's Cyborg, who was not in Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. That might be an interesting take, considering we really don't see him in very many fighting games, or video games in general.
Well, the Teen Titans really don't go into many video games. They generally stick to their own comics, because they're not even in the Justice League comics much, if at all.
And keep that new Starfire away from my games. Unless it's a Dead or Alive game.
I mean, they're going all out, and it looks dark. like really dark.
Yeah,
Do,
well,
do not let your little sister read this one.
No, read it to them.
and actually we're gonna skip like the next 12 pages. I'll fill you in on the content later. And now we're back.
They go out for tea.
And oh wait, we're at the
I
end. Oh
love
well,
tea.
Nate, wait for next issue.
Wait, why tea when you can have sweet apple cider?
I see what you did there.
Ah, good tangent.
But yes, a new little Flash game has surfaced on the Divine Toss. It's a beautiful little game where you control Applejack and there are 3 lanes of very thirsty ponies who need their cider desperately. And you have to deal it to them.
Yeah, basically it's like Beer Tapper. You know, the old arcade game that we loved so much.
Yeah, Kevin Sano brought this to us. It's pretty addicting.
Yes,
Also
I will wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, the music's great, you know, the animations are fun, does keep a good track of score, although I do feel that the controls are a little bit iffy.
They're a bit touchy.
I
Yeah.
find them fine, but bleh. Everyone has different experiences, I suppose.
Yeah, my keyboard's kind of clicky.
Ah,
It's one of those games where you have to have good timing a little bit, because if you just jam the space bar, you're not going to win.
No, they take off points for if you knock off,
I
like-
found that the hard way.
yeah, if you knock off cider mugs.
This fandom, as far as game creation, has come a long way since our humble beginnings of Story of the Blanks.
That was a good game.
Still haven't
I
played it.
know.
I played it once a long time ago when we were originally EFR, and we were going to do video game reviews. This was when we still had Autumn on staff, and it was going to be her and Bones, I think, that did a review of it.
They did do it, though.
Yeah.
It was the Luna Eclipse episode review, I believe.
Wow, that was our very second episode.
Complete with the Monster Mash fanfic reviews.
And the beauty of Draft recording in his car for the intro.
That explains why it sounded so terrible. Best
Enough
one,
of
$70
embarrassing
price tag.
things, and let's go on to some actual interesting things, where Tera Online, which is a game by Blue Hole Studio, an MMO that came out, I think it was last year around May.
Really? I thought it was
Hasn't
2
been out
years
that
ago.
long.
Hasn't been out that long, and it actually went free to play here on the 5th,
It got
and
better.
it did it right. It's not a trial. It's not. It's not a watered down version. It's. Well, DDO could take a lesson from it. Let's just say that. You get full access to
Star
everything.
Wars
Yeah,
could
you
take a
get
lesson
yeah,
from
it's basically
anything.
you get the game you normally would have to pay for, except you don't have to pay for it. And now, if you pay for it now, you get even more stuff.
The only thing that's taken away is the character slots.
Which, I mean,
But you
is
know what? You can live
reasonable.
with.
Yeah, I mean, you get more character slots if you become a founder or an elite or a subscriber. I mean, there's a couple different levels, and there's even more stuff to do than just, whatever. It's an action MMO, so, I mean, it's got a little bit for everything. It's simply not something where you can just jump in the middle and, hope that you're gonna kill everything like you can in WoW, because if you actually jump in the middle, you're not prepared, you're done.
Oh, you're done.
You're done.
Just beep boop blop, you're dead.
It's one of those games where if you've got some time to devote and you don't want to spend any money, you can actually get away with it. Alright guys, that's it for this week. I mean, there's a lot of game news we didn't cover for reasons, and there's a lot of game news coming up that we are going to recover. Like the PlayStation 3 announcement, or the PlayStation announcement about either the PlayStation 4 or a new game or something. I don't know. They could be ordering coffee cake for all I know in Times Square.
And The Witcher 3.
We're also going to delve a little bit into the Hyrule Historia, of which I own myself.
Still waiting on
And
my copy.
the new Xbox, if they decide to release any more information, because Sony can't do anything without Xbox being the jealous little brother saying, "No, I gotta do it too."
And then there's the older brother, the Wii U, that doesn't really care.
Oh no, the Wii U's got some good games on the horizon. It's just that I wish they'd get here sooner. I've been waiting for Half-Life 3 for a couple of years now.
A couple?
Yeah, no, I've been waiting.
Get in line.
Yeah.
Get in line.
Yeah, no,
I've
I've been in
waiting
line.
longer than you.
Yeah, I know that.
But if anybody missed it, Gabe Newell was actually at a con not too long ago, and they had him wear a horse head mask.
Oh, I saw that.
They tried to get him to hold up the number 3, and he actually had his third finger, his ring finger, halfway up, and he acted like he couldn't do it.
He's a good
It
sport.
was great.
He's a good sport.
Good sport.
But he's stuck in count to 3.
He's a good sport, but he can count to 3 about as good as Rainbow Dash can count to 2.
Well, I guess we won't be seeing a trilogy for the movies.
Yeah, you can just skip to... No, can he count to 4? Do we have confirmation of the number 4?
I don't know, maybe 5? 1, 2, 5?
This just in in gaming news. Bluescreen Bronies has confirmed Gabe Newell can indeed count to 4.
Victory! Ah, the good old days of when games were more than willing to punish you for being terrible. Kind of wish we had those games. Alas, I think we'll have to make do with a little game called Titan Attacks if we really want to go and have a little trip down memory lane. Released in early 2012, this game took the old arcade-style shooters many of us grew up with and breathed new life into it. This game features several upgrades to the previous incarnations of Space Invaders, such as the ability to upgrade your tank after each level, and boy are you going to need those upgrades as you fight through the multitude of different enemy types. With 100 levels spread across 5 planets, you are certainly going to have your hands full, not to mention dealing with the bosses this game loves to throw at you. Normally I would rant about a game like this, however I can't really find anything I dislike about this one. The only issue I have with this game is that it brings back bad memories of spending far too much money at the arcade. From the gameplay to the art style and even down to the music, Puppy Games showed that with a bit of work, even an old classic can be brought back for a new generation to enjoy. And with that, goodbye folks.
Every so often, a game comes around and takes the tried and true formulas of what makes a good game and casts it aside. A game that is so different and foreign that many are unable to fully enjoy it. So buckle up, folks. We're taking the Zero. Kentucky Route Zero is a point-and-click adventure game that relies heavily on its deep and immersive storytelling to deliver an experience like no other. The closest game I can equate this to is The Walking Dead, with the heavy characterization of the protagonist. However, unlike The Walking Dead, Kentucky Route Zero lets you dictate the pace and direction of the story to some degree. For example, in the first few lines of dialogue, you dictate the entire relationship with a dog that's been following you. Either it's male, female, or a stray that started following your character. You dictate the past of the animal and even your own ideas and paradigms with a few simple flowing lines of dialogue with yourself and some of the NPCs around you. The game is presented in a dark and shadowy environment while silhouettes dance back and forth in the foreground and the background. Light is limited, however, when it is present it brings a simplistic color scheme into focus, drawing in your attention. The use of light also hides as well as it accents many of the backgrounds of the game. The transitions between light and the grayscale in between bring forward new details that may cause you to question your very sanity. Magic realism is a big theme in the game. As the game progresses, it becomes harder to determine what is real. How your character reacts to these seemingly mystical events depends on how you've set up your character's paradigms. The game is a unique gem that is unlike any other game I've played. While some of the dialogue seems confusing and somewhat out of place, this is only the first episode of the game. Hopefully in the future, these seemingly random lines of dialogue will bring exciting details into focus. And for $7, you really don't have much of an excuse not to try it. This is a truly unique game that needs to be played. See you on the Zero, folks.